Hey, what's going on, crypto people? It is your boy, the Crypto Siege, with another day in the life and a crazy life that is cryptocurrency. What's good, guys? Good morning. Happy Saturday. Hope that you guys have hope you're having an awesome morning and even better rest to your day. So I wanted to hop on here real quick, guys, and just talk a little bit about a couple of things. Number one, the Trump tweet that is going around, picked up by CNBC and all the others and the likes, is pretty funny to me. Pretty funny to me. So anyway, I'm so amazed at how the script, it gets laid out, it gets played out all the time, and then how mainstream media seems to always think that okay, oh yeah, they don't get it. We'll just keep running that same script. Like who doesn't know what that Trump tweet was about? Like, who doesn't understand that is all politics? Plain and simple. It's all politics. I mean, Donald Trump, you got to get that. He's a politician. He is a politician, and in the end, you can say what you want to say about that dude. He's a politician, and he understands that China and all that mining that's going over there, and how they control that and can impact it in any significant way is a problem, is a challenge. And so, obviously he's going to say that, Bitcoins and other cryptos. But if you are in the XRP community, and if you think for a second that he's talking about XRP, my friends, you're sadly mistaken. There isn't a shot that he's talking about XRP. It's like a shot. There isn't a shot. And understand, that he has his dollar thing that he's trying to do, and he's trying to get the value of the dollar back. He has to do that. He has to do that. He has to make an argument that appeals to the masses. And right now, the masses, understand this global economic crisis is coming, and know what's happening to the dollar, and hope that it would get better. Hope that we, he or we, can get it back to where it once was, or begin to get it back. So he's got to make that argument. But don't get it twisted. He understands what's going on in the digital asset space, and certainly understands what's going on with XRP. Without question, he certainly understands that. And so just understand that, again, you got to do your homework. You have to know what you hold. XRP, Ripple, the company, has been checking all the boxes since 2015. I read a PDF. It was in the Investment Perspective Telegram. Mickey B. Fresh put it out. It was an investor's kind of take on the crypto asset space. Some smart guy, apparently. And what he was basically laying out in that PDF was what it takes to be accepted as a world reserve currency. And he's talking about crypto. He calls it crypto assets. And what you have to do to really kind of check the boxes there. One was, it wasn't just utility. Obviously, you have to move from speculative to utility. But it wasn't just utility, in his opinion. You also had to move forward. You had to level up to the store of value. To the store of value. Do you guys think it's just a coincidence that Kava Labs came about? Do you think that's just a coincidence? I think not. There's a reason that Kava Labs and what they're doing with Cosmos and the CDPs, the collateral depositions, is the reason why they went down that road. Because they understand that the digital asset space is here to stay, and they know in order for any digital asset to have a chance to solve the global economic crises, to become in some way, shape, form, or fashion a world reserve currency, it has to check the boxes. And then what they do is they go to smart people like this guy who wrote this PDF, and say, what would that look like, right? So this guy might be, I forget his background. It might be economics. It might be some type of cryptography. It might be finances. Who knows? But all, they go to those guys, right? And say, what would that look like? Like, you know what I mean? It's no coincidence that Ripple and Kava Labs and X-Spring are here. That's not a coincidence. That's a playbook unfolding. That's what that is. It's a playbook unfolding, and it's important to understand. The Ripple company is a USA thing. That's important to understand. And if you and I know, what do you think the powers that be know? And I'm just kind of putting this out there. If we know, what does the CIA know? If we know, what does NSA know? If we know, what does the FBI know? If we know, what does the White House know? You understand? Like, they know what's about to unfold, and they understand that if we have it, then we have a little bit of leverage. The genius in what Ripple, the company, did, and again, I'm pretty certain that it wasn't Brad or Chris Larson or Jeb McCaleb or Arthur Brito who decided to gift that to the world, the ILP. You know what I mean? I'm pretty certain. I remember David Schwartz or Bob Wade talking about one day how they had got raided, and he'd come into the office and like, bro, what do you got? What is it that you guys are doing, right? And again, smart people realize what that was about. So I don't know for sure, but I feel as though they were certainly nudged in the direction to gift this. W3C picked it up, right? It's an interesting thing. A lot of people don't understand that the internet is owned, right? But the fact that they decided to gift it was massive, and I think that is because you can gift it, or you can have. Right, so you can have us on your side, or you can have us as your enemy type deal, if you understand what I'm saying, right? You can have us as an ally, or you can have us as, always looking over your shoulder, if you understand what I mean. And so that's kind of, I believe, that why Kava Labs, why X-Spring, playbook, step one, step two, a rollout, if you will, of what's about to happen. And so the Trump thing, trust me, politics, without question, politics. Trump knows about XRP. He knows about Brad Garlinghouse. There's a reason why Brad's hanging out with the IMF. It's all, a rollout. It's all the playbook unfolding, without question. And it evolves around XRP. And, when you hear that phrase, XRP, the standard, that's been in publications, whether it be from the Faster Payments Task Force, or the Better Than Cash Alliance, or the Executive Order 13772, XRP, the standard. There's a reason for that role. There's a reason for the phrase. There's a reason for a level playing field. There's a reason why they're getting that out to mainstream media, so that they can spin that narrative when it comes time to leverage the greatest digital asset ever created. You got to understand that. Now, what they're going to do about you and I that hold the XRP, and how they're going to deal with that, who knows? Who knows? How the price will get changed, will rise in the future, who knows? My guess is, it's always kind of been this conversation throughout the XRP community. Hey, are we going to have the bull market and then this kind of thing where they say, yeah, we need this, we need XRP at a certain price? Or are they going to do it first and say, yeah, we need XRP at this price, and then the bull run? If you understand what I mean. Are they going to wait and let the bull run kind of help determine the market first, or are they going to try to set something? I think, I think it's really more so about SBI, more so than anything. I honestly believe that because they have their hands in so many different things. I really do think that that's going to be the thing. And I think that the powers that be are going to sit back and watch and kind of monitor this price, because again, the global economic crisis has zero patience and waits for no one. That is looming. You got to understand that. That is looming. And the United States and all the major nations, the major economic nations, they don't have time. They don't have any leverage over that, right? It's coming, it's looming, and it's being promoted in the news that it's coming, and so they don't have that option or luxury to wait. They have to act. Yeah, they have to act, and whatever that is, whether it's replacing the dollar or doing something to strengthen the dollar, whatever that option is, the challenging thing right now is a lot of major nations like China want to get away from the dollar. That's a challenge. So it's got to be something that the nations can come together and kind of agree upon, where no one has any more of an upper hand than the other in terms of that currency. And so that's going to be major as far as world reserve currency is concerned. So to understand, XRP, again, Ripple, the company, checks all the boxes. And when you look at India and what Ripple, the company, has done in getting all of those banks on Xcurrent is massive. Absolutely massive. And it won't take long before they're over on XRapid. It won't be long. It won't be long. And when you take a country like India and you get all the people that are using it, these are all things that are put in play to sell, in my opinion, to sell XRP to the world as a world reserve currency. I just really believe it, because again, when it comes time to sell it, they're going to have IMF, they're going to have Mark Carney, right? They're going to have the World Bank, they're going to have the BIS, they're going to have all these people, singing that song to the masses about XRP. In my opinion, how it's saving us money. Right, because that hasn't been put out there that much. It talks a lot about saving them money, saving the banks money, saving small and medium enterprises, saving financial institutions money. But they haven't really spun in the narrative how that trickles down to the end user. They're not talking about that as much. Here I'm hearing about the fee thing with SBI and the banks in India. No fees for these initially. That's part of, my opinion, that's part of the narrative they're going to start putting out in the mainstream media. No fees, cheaper. Again, all these things around XRP to push it as, again, whether it be an ESDR or the world reserve currency, whatever they're going to do, it's a rollout of what's happening. Playbook, big time. This is how it is. We're on page whatever. This is page 5. Here we are. This is page 10. This is what we do, without question. And that bank, the India thing is so massive. I don't know if we can, I thought the MoneyGram thing was huge. And it is. But to get a country, an entire country's banks, all on Xcurrent is huge. Because who knows what India might decide to do? Who knows what India might decide to do? That whole thing about the IMF being able to hold XRP, and the guy, the banker, the lawyer, I think it was the lawyer for the IMF, said that a nation would have to decide to use it as a currency. You think about what the people of India are used to used to having as so here's the thing, they're used to earning pennies, they're used to earning, you know what I mean, they're used to earning pennies. And so when you talk about XRP and the fact that they can earn that, and it might be 0.00 whatever, they're used to that, right? So they're kind of used to that small cents thing. They're used to that. And so they could easily take that on as a currency, I think. Easily. And so maybe we're sleeping on it, and maybe that's going to be the country that decides to do it. But they're figuring out a way, they're rolling it out, and they are figuring out a way to make that happen. Guaranteed. They're figuring out a way to make it happen. XRP is going to be in the framework of the new monetary system in some way, shape, form, or fashion. It may be one way, it may be 2, 3, 4, or 5 ways, but XRP is going to be in there. That XRP ledger is going to be in there. When you're able to say, right? Because remember, the negative narrative is anti-money laundering, criminals, and the whole 9 yards. And when Ripple, the company, and people from the IMF, Mark Carney now, and the World Bank, and whoever else is able to say that every single transaction done with XRP is KYC, AML, and CFT, whatever that thing is massive. To be able to say that full transparency, that KYC and AML proof, every transaction. Can't you see the people from CNBC saying that? Can't you hear them saying that? Can't you hear Rand Nooner saying that? And next thing you know, Donald Trump will be saying that. Can't you hear Donald Trump saying Ripple, the company, and the people that, Brad and the people over there, and his lingo? Can't you just hear him touting Ripple? I can hear it as clear as day. As clear as day. Like, oh my gosh, it is so obvious to me. So obvious to me. It's unbelievable. And once they decide and come together, like, oh, wait a minute, central bank debt. Oh, once they start pushing that to us, and how it's gonna, clear up all this debt and what it can do for debt and what it can do for the world, that's coming. Can't you see? Can't you hear it? It's coming. And it'll just, next thing you know, everyone will just be, okay. It's just accepting this is something that's helping the global economic crisis. Clear as day. That's where we are, in my humble opinion. We're getting there. It's just a matter of time. And what XRP in price is going to be 10 years from now, I can't even imagine. I was watching this interview with it's a channel, I believe it's called Real Vision Finance. It might be called Real Finance Vision, but I think it's called Real Vision Finance. YouTube, you should check it out. He had an interview on there with Barry Silbert from Digital Currency Groups, who, quite honestly, is probably the most heavily invested in the digital asset space than any other company. Barry Silbert is in everything. And he called it the digital asset class. Now, you guys, if you've been listening, if you've been following this channel for a while, I've always said that it's a new asset class. You always hear me say digital assets and not cryptocurrencies and things like that. It's a digital asset class. And I believe 100% it will begin to be talked in that way. They'll use things like crypto assets. In fact, in that PDF that I mentioned, that's in the Investment Perspectives Telegram, he called it crypto assets. And XRP is going to get touted as a digital asset. And it's going to be this digital asset class. And it's going to be made up of, and Barry Silbert said that, it's going to be made up of currencies. It's going to be made up of protocols. It's going to be made up of assets. And just to think, think, that we're early in that game. But you definitely want to check out the interview. It's a 9 minute interview. And you definitely want to check out the interview. It's a 9 minute interview. And you definitely want to check out the interview. It's a 9 minute interview. And you definitely want to check out the interview. It's a 9 minute interview. And you definitely want to check out the interview. You definitely want to check out the interview. And I find it interesting that Barry Silbert and digital currency groups are in so many things. In fact, I thought it was interesting that they were actually list the currencies that they're in. Not very many. He talks about being an early investor in Ripple, the company, and Coinbase. But I find it interesting that he's invested in platforms and he's invested in currencies. I find that to be interesting. And what I love is that Barry Silbert's a dude. You know, he got into the digital asset space in 2012, but he's a dude, and just like you and I, right? He's a person just like you and I, and we can be there one day if you get where you are now. If you get where you are now, right? And if you get that we're so early in this game, and I just believe that one day, you know, if Bitcoin's going to be $1 million one day, Ethereum is going to be $250,000, right? What's XRP going to be? One day. You understand what I'm saying? I think that's very, very obvious, and it's going to be very, very, very much accepted. Is Bitcoin going to lead the way? Yeah, it's going to lead the way because wealthy people have decided that it is this supply and demand thing, and that they want it, and they get that there's only a certain amount of it around, in that whole 9 yards. That's the deal. We all know that it's inferior technology, but in the end, that's the deal. So definitely check out the interview with Barry Silver. I found it to be really, really interesting. I loved his quote unquote arguments, and they weren't arguing. They're just kind of talking, having great discussion. You know, talking about Bitcoin versus gold and et cetera, et cetera. I did find it interesting. He never mentioned XRP. I did find that interesting. He talked about he invested in Ripple, the company, and you know, obviously he's an early investor in Bitcoin, but he never talked about XRP. And I did find that a little bit interesting. I really, really did. And I just love that XRP is leading the way in utility and use case. It's leading the way in making that argument for utility and use case. I love that. I do love that. It really is leading the way. And I think it's interesting that Bitcoin hasn't proven that yet. It's the only direction that it's going down is store value. It's never going to be, in my humble opinion, it's never going to be accepted as this world payment thing that everyone will take, that the powers that be will do. It doesn't check enough boxes to do that. It really doesn't. Really doesn't. So XRP, again, it checks all the boxes. It's being prepared to be rolled out, in my opinion, where everyone will look at it and accept it and say, oh yeah, okay. Well, they can't make any arguments, right? And so people can't say it's you know, they can do this and money laundering and the bad guys. They won't be able to say that about XRP. And you got to get that to massive. And it's going to have to check all the boxes, and it's doing that. Can it be used as a currency? Yes. Can it be used as a store of value? Yes. Does it have real world use case and utility? Yes. They're going to talk about all the companies and small to medium enterprises using XRapid on the Ripple net, on the XRP ledger. They're going to show it all. They're going to show it all, and then they're going to have that nice talking head that is Brad Garlinghouse being able to do that. I mean, it's obvious, so obvious to me. We just got to be a little bit patient and understand what we have and hold on to that. get your cash flow up if you're able to do that, so that you can take advantage of the blessing that you have to be an early adopter in this new asset class that is the digital asset class. Just understand that's where you are. And so one day, I humbly believe that one day we'll have the opportunity to be a Barry Silbert if we want to. Maybe become a VC if we want to. I believe that without question. And it's going to take the discipline of, missing a few of those parties, saving up the money a little bit, not hanging out with the boys as much as you want to. It's going to kind of take that discipline to do that. It's going to take that discipline to do that. Right? Become a disciplined investor. Know what you hold. And be able to see. This is the key. You got to look 5 years from now. You got to look 10 years from now. You got to look 15 years from now. If you have that luxury to do that, that's where you got to look. Right? Barry Silbert didn't get to where he was by 2012 overnight. And that's what we have. We have that opportunity. I believe that 100%. So I encourage you to be prepared for the incoming wealth. Don't wait for the wealth to get there and then not be prepared. That won't work out. It won't work out because there's no discipline there. There's no knowledge there. There's no financial IQ there. You'll be just like lottery winners. You don't want to be like lottery winners. You don't want to be that. And so you have time to prepare. Listen, it's great to have these exit plans at this amount and at that amount, and I'm leaving the rest for your children. That's awesome. But you got to get prepared now for wealth. You got to develop your wealth mindset now. You got to be prepared now. You got to be looking at accountants now. You got to be looking at wealth managers now. You got to be prepared. You got to be prepared. You got to have these talks and have these conversations with wealth managers now about taxes, about where I can do to not have to pay so much money in taxes, and a different, you got to have these discussions now. You got to call someone up and say, look, I'm going to be coming into this certain kind of money, and I'd like to learn more about my options and what can I do. You got to have these conversations now. You got to establish that network now so that you're prepared. That's my recommendation. Get prepared now. We have ours in place. We just on the phone with some attorneys a couple of days ago, just preparing for different things. Got to have all that stuff set up in advance. You got to know the pros and cons of LLCs in advance. You got to know that stuff now, right? So definitely get prepared. Understand that you're blessed to be an early adopter in this new asset class that is the digital asset class. And if you're an XRP holder, you're even more blessed because you hold the greatest digital asset ever created. And you hold it. Take advantage of the opportunity that we have. Not financial advice. I'm not telling you what to do with your money. You have to make your own decisions. But if Bitcoin is going to be $1 million, and Ethereum one day is going to be 250, 300,000, where's XRP going to be? Where's XRP going to be? And again, walk away from the 97% who constantly focus on price. Walk away from the 97%. Don't walk like they walk. Don't talk like they talk. Don't think like they think. Walk away. Walk away. Because you hold the greatest digital asset ever created. They can't take it away from you. Get yourself a Legend Nano asset and understand that. Get your security game up with your digital assets. Whether that's using crypto key stack and putting your passphrases on there. Whether it's be the fireproof, the waterproof, the tornado proof, the earthquake proof, safes, whatever you got to do, get that going. I I would definitely look into security of the home overall, right? You gotta kind of think in advance. Think in advance. And it's cool to think about Lambos. It's cool. I was just looking at my Ferrari Portofino. I mean, it's cool to want that stuff. You got to be prepared. You got to be big time prepared, or else it'll be gone. It'll be here today and gone tomorrow. So prepare, guys. Anyway, I'm rambling on, but I just wanted to say, I wanted to hop on here and just understand that Donald Trump wanted you to understand that the Donald Trump thing, that's politics, that's a political thing. The Bank of India, that's massive. The price is insignificant currently. Means nothing. Means absolutely nothing. Because the fundamentals of XRP and what it does is over freaking whelming. There isn't a digital asset out there that can do it. Real world use case. Real world use case. And they're working now on the store of value with Cosmos and Kava Labs and the CDP. It's over. And then you got all this other, all the X-Spring stuff with Coil and that, it's over. It's over. And the fact that they're not resting on their laurels, I love it. Absolutely, 100% love it. So, guys, listen. I'm going to wrap this video up. Never, ever forget this, guys. Old money doesn't want you to win. They don't want me to win. They don't want us to win. Old money would rather us remain a cog in their perpetual wheel of trading our time for dollars. They don't want us to play in the same playing field that they play in the same playground that they play in, where we allow our money to work for us. Guys, this is our chance to win. We are in the midst of the greatest transfer of wealth in the history of man. Are you participating? Or are you standing on the sidelines? Here's what I do know. The battle for you has already been fought. And the victory is yours. Go get it. I'll talk to you soon, guys. See ya. Bye.